Ukrainian Special Operations Forces have destroyed a reconnaissance sabotage group of the occupying Russian army in the town of Yampol, Donetsk region. The invaders plan to consolidate in the town in small groups and then carry out an offensive operation. In order to neutralize the sabotage group, fighters of the 8th Division of Special Operations Forces entered the town with armored combat vehicles. As a result of a short battle, the sabotage group was neutralized, and the only survivor, a Russian soldier hiding in one of the houses, was taken prisoner. Ukrainian fighters who cleared the town prevented the invaders from implementing their offensive plan. On the morning of October 8, 2022, around 6:05 a.m., a powerful explosion rocked the Crimean Bridge. At the same moment, a train carrying flammable materials passed by on the adjacent railway track, igniting a fire that engulfed it as well. The Crimean Bridge serves as a crucial part of the transportation infrastructure for military operations involved in the invasion of southern Ukraine. The bridge's road section had been utilized for military transport since 2018, prior to the opening of the rail section. The explosion severely damaged the bridge's roadway, with some sections collapsing into the sea, leading to a complete halt of traffic. This disruption resulted in a transport collapse, with hundreds of trucks and cars caught in multi-kilometer traffic jams. The only route to Crimea became the ferry service, which struggled to cope with the overwhelming demand. In July 2023, the Security Service of Ukraine officially acknowledged its involvement in the attack on the Crimean Bridge in 2022. The special operation severed the logistical artery through which weapons and ammunition were funneled into Ukraine. It marked only the beginning. A second strike on the bridge followed, executed with Ukrainian sea drones known as Sea Baby, and was soon followed by the destruction of oil refineries, missile depots, and airfields in Russia. At least 2 explosions were heard on the Crimean Bridge in the night of July 17, 2023. The head of the Security Service of Ukraine, Vasyl Malyuk, explained that 5 Sea Baby marine drones, remotely controlled from Kiev, were involved in the attack on the Crimean Bridge on July 17. 2 of them reached the bridge and struck its supports. The other 3 marine drones ran out of fuel on the way and had to self-destruct. This special operation seriously disrupted the functioning of the 19-kilometer bridge and changed perceptions of Russia's invincibility. The Russian Federation opened a criminal case following the explosion on the Crimean Bridge under the article, Terrorism. According to their claims, the Crimean Bridge was allegedly attacked in the middle of the night by 2 Ukrainian surface drones, resulting in further damage. The security service of Ukraine carried out the third attack against the Crimean Bridge since Russia's full-scale war began in 2022, mining and damaging its underwater supports, the SBU announced on June 3. God loves the Trinity, and the SBU always brings what is conceived to the end and never repeats itself, SBU Chief Ilham Aliyev said in a statement posted on social media. Previously, we struck the Crimean Bridge in 2022 and 2023. So today we continued this tradition underwater, he added. Constructed after Russia's illegal occupation of Crimea in 2014, the Crimean Bridge is a critical supply and transport route for Russian forces to the occupied Ukrainian territories. During a meeting with journalists, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke about the counteroffensive operation on the Dobrapilya direction, calling it a factor that derailed the summer offensive campaign of Russian forces. In his remarks, he emphasized the importance of this step for the overall resilience of the defense and a change in the front situation. We believe that the counteroffensive operation is very difficult, but very timely, and we believe that it is successful, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky said. According to the president, the actions of Ukrainian troops unsettled Moscow's plans, which sought to persuade the United States of its intentions. In particular, the Russians allegedly convinced the Americans that they would occupy Donbass or part of it by September, and then by November. This operation, undoubtedly, has an impact on the defense of Pokrovsk. Realizing that they suffer heavy losses around Dobrapilya, they are now tasked with taking Pokrovsk urgently, at any price. This is what we understand from interceptions, from other data, President of Ukraine said. Zelensky added that near Dobrapilya and around Pokrovsk, the Russians have suffered significant losses in recent days, more than 100 troops per day, sometimes up to 200. He also noted that over 2 months of the Russian counteroffensive, it had suffered losses of more than 12,000 troops, of which 7,000 were killed. There are signs of criminal offenses in their actions, provided for by Article 345 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, threats or violence against a law enforcement officer, and Article 194 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, intentional destruction or damage to property. The respective reports have been sent to the National Police, Deep State analysts added. According to Deep State analysts, on August 11 there was active advancement of Russian troops in the direction between Dobrapilya and Drushkivka. The Ukrainian Armed Forces counteroffensive is assessed as an operation that involved new formations, notably, the forces of the 1st Corps of the National Guard of Ukraine, Azov. On August 21, Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Oleksandr Syrsky stated the clearing of 6 settlements on the Pokrovsk direction. And on September 26 Syrsky reported that the Ukrainian command had disrupted Russia's plans in this direction and thwarted a breakthrough that the Russian Federation planned on Novopavlovsk. For the counteroffensive operation on the Pokrovsk front near Dobrapilya, the defense forces of Ukraine involved newly formed brigades, with Russian troops in that section ending up in a trap.